great day to join us for part of our Career Pathway series for City Year Detroit. Really excited to highlight some of the work that Comcast has done with us, not only this year, but in previous years as well. They're one of our biggest supporters for our site in Detroit, and so it's really exciting to get to showcase them among many other supporters of our work. One thing that I find really special about Comcast is that they're an employer of national service, which is something that I'll get to a little bit later in our presentation. But just to introduce myself, my name is Andrew Steinke. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I'm really proud to serve as a recruiter with City Year. I love getting to work with the Detroit team, and so I'm excited that I get to participate in this project and this series of presentations. And so I want to give an opportunity for our guests from Comcast to introduce themselves briefly, if you might.
Oh, that's not a problem at all. Well, my name is Chris Alvashire. I'm a senior recruiter for talent acquisition for the Heartland area, which is Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky. And with me, I have the senior manager for human resources, Lisa Grainer. She's my cohort, my partner that I partner with all the time, and she's fantastic. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, thank you for the introduction. I've been with Comcast 18 years, so have been here quite a long time, and you'll find out why I have been here at 18 years and a little later in the presentation.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both again for joining us, and I just appreciate you getting to share some of your expertise and some of your perspective as an employer and a longtime partner of City Year in our work. Before we get into Comcast any further, I want to give a brief presentation about City Year, our mission, and some of the work that we're doing, which should sort of set you up for asking questions about how we partner with organizations like Comcast or what you can gain from a year of service toward working in the professional sector with them. So whenever you are ready, Rob.
Cool. Let me pull it up real quickly. And Andrew, this is the normal presentation. So if you have a slide on demand you want me to show, just let me know. We'll make it happen. Let's see. Share my screen. All right. I think we're good. Let me know if you can or can't see it.
Yep, I can see it just fine. So we want to move into the beginning. So just generally speaking, at City Year, we know that all students can succeed. We recognize that each student, both those that we work with and those in other districts across the US, have their own strengths, their own skills, and their own motivations, which make up a significant part of their success, how they measure success for themselves and both in school and beyond in their lives and careers. Next slide, please. Across the country, we acknowledge that over 800,000 students are not completing high school every year. This is a really significant problem, but it's also the main thrust of the work that we do. We're motivated to be part of the solution and address the main causes that are behind this issue. Next slide. In addition to being aware of which schools are struggling most under the current education system, whether that's a question of resources, of sufficient teaching staff, or something else entirely, we know that there are ways that we can identify students that are likely not to complete school on time. And this means that the problem is solvable. Next slide, please. The students that need extra support as early as elementary school can be identified based on patterns of attendance, patterns of behavior or social and emotional development, and their course performance. And as AmeriCorps members with City Year, these are the areas in which you would be tasked to focus, supporting students in all three, because we recognize that intervention in any or all of these areas can help a student not only matriculate from year to year in their school, say from 3rd grade to 4th grade, but ultimately reach 12th grade and graduate on time. And so as a City Year AmeriCorps member, you'd be working with a small team of passionate young adults like yourself, diverse in makeup, to not only be present for students and support them in those three areas, but do so in a way that's comprehensive and holistic and spans the length of the school day. We differ from a lot of other programs because we start before the school day begins. We meet in the mornings, we connect with each other, and then we're greeting students as they're coming into the school. We're supporting them in classroom and in other spaces throughout the school day, and also in after school work. So not just a one and done, not just an in and out, but something that really becomes a long-term and integrated part of their experience during the school year when we're serving. Our holistic approach includes, like I mentioned, a variety of different activities. And so it's really essential because those different connections allow us to build meaningful near-peer relationships that are different from the relationships that students may experience both with their peers and with the other adults in the building, often acting as a bridge between one or the other so that we're able to include aspects of social and emotional development in the academic space, build strong relationships between the students and their educational community, and ultimately support stronger developmental outcomes for them across the three areas that we're supporting. Everything that we do is informed with data in one way or another, whether that's through larger developmental models that inform the social and emotional work that we're doing, or student data specific to the students that we're working with in our interventional spaces, and anecdotal information that we're gathering from partner educators, from peers in our service teams, or even that you're making about your students as well. And you can see on screen just some of the different ways that City Year enhances the educational experience for students and for the partner educators that we're working with too. This is a really great sample of a school day. Times may vary depending on the site, depending on the school that you're working with, but morning greeting is always the first thing we do each day after our meetings as teams. And then early in the morning, we're supporting the whole school, usually by focusing on our classroom first, by making attendance phone calls home. This is one of the consistent ways that we're supporting attendance, in addition to other initiatives that come up throughout the year. Throughout the school day, we'll work in the classroom, supporting our partner teachers' instruction, modeling expectations, but occasionally we'll do some pull-out lessons, either in English language arts, literacy, writing, or in math, and focus on fundamental skills, or representing material from the classroom in a different way that might be more accessible for students. Near the end of the day, there's usually some component of after school programming, or we might be organizing an event to engage parents and other members of the community, things that focus on enrichment or student recreation of some kind. And we'll do a closeout meeting at the end of each day. Not always an 8 to 6, I want to clarify that, but somewhere in there, there's a range for the school day where we're arriving a little bit before students do and leaving a little bit after school ends. Our youth development academic work takes the form of some of the things that I mentioned already, which includes mentoring in tutoring spaces, both one-on-one or in small groups, collaborating with partner teachers and educators to identify which students would be most benefiting from the interventional support that we provide, analyzing student data, as I mentioned, and leading different initiatives on our teams or as members of larger committees at the sites, which could range from something like supporting attendance across the entire site, all of the schools that we serve in a given city, or something as specific as math or English language arts coordinating in the school team that you're serving. Next slide, please. Additional activities or focuses lend to contributing to a positive school culture, because ultimately we want to be a part of why students want to be at school. We want to motivate them to come to school on time, prepared each day. We're tasked with building positive relationships with students, which divest from judgment or making assumptions, and instead seek to understand them, seek to be compassionate and empathetic, and offer them opportunities to grow or be agents in their learning. And as mentioned multiple times before, we lead different after-school programs, some academic focused, some focused on coordinating with other organizations or opportunities in the community, ultimately all to extend the time that students experience meaningful engagement at school. And so the last things that I want to highlight is the different benefits of doing a service year with City Year specifically. This is a paid opportunity. This is something that you can benefit from directly, obviously, during service, so that it's something accessible and meaningful for you. But the benefits aren't strictly monetary, and so I hope that I can cover a few of the variety as well. There is a bi-weekly living stipend, my apologies, every other week, and it varies by location. And since this presentation was printed and put together by our marketing team. We've actually had some really great fundraising news across the network. So our national minimum is now $890 before tax. And there are other sites that have a higher biweekly stipend. And you can find all this information on cityyear.org. Our website is 100% up to date. Additionally, there's a $500 relocation assistance benefit. So if you're moving more than 50 miles to serve, you'll earn a one-time bonus on your first or second paycheck. It's retroactive. So this won't necessarily cover the cost of, say, like a security deposit, your first month's rent, but it will definitely accommodate you if you needed to spend money on a moving van, or if you needed to buy additional containers to move your things from where you are to where you'll be serving. As an AmeriCorps program also, and upon successfully completing our AmeriCorps program, you'll earn what is known as the Siegel Education Award, which is estimated to be about $6,495 currently, which is really exciting. That's before tax, but you can apply that toward any federal student loans that you already have, or to future costs of education rather at qualifying schools, which include community colleges and trade schools as well. Additionally, we have more than $3 million in scholarships at more than 120 partner schools that are available exclusively to City Year alumni. There are waivers as small as application fee coverage to things like full rides. You still have to compete for those, but they're something that you're competing with against other alumni from our program specifically, and not all students applying to those programs. And there are partner programs at the undergraduate and graduate level. So if you're considering a change in your academic path or an enhancement of that academic path in a graduate program, City Year is a really great way to earn some extra money toward that opportunity. Health insurance, which includes vision and dental, is free for AmeriCorps members, and we offer 12 days of paid time off, the last that I checked. There's also a 24/7 employee assistance program that's free. You can check in on legal matters, on general medical issues, on resources available in your community. And that includes additional counseling or mental health services apart from that EAP. There are a lot of different ways that you can benefit from resources that we provided. And City Year, I think, from the perspective of somebody who served for 2 years and is now on staff, is moving toward a culture of community care. We're really trying to find ways where your well-being is incorporated into the day-to-day or the week-to-week. Another really important benefit of service is loan forbearance. So if you have student loans and you're worried about paying them and also doing service, you can apply for loan forbearance. And the interest that you accrue during the service year can be waived at the end. This is something you have to apply for as well, but it's something also that our staff are happy to help you do so that you're successful in both of those processes. And I think that we've covered this slide as well. Something that I really am excited to highlight is that even though we focus on education equity, even though we're working in schools with students, most of our alumni don't move into education as a profession. Significant number do, obviously, with that 29% from when the survey was taken, but many are moving on into the nonprofit sector, and many are working toward other goals that they're already bringing into service. I actually had a handful of teammates from both years who were already in the process of applying to medical school or law school when they came into our program. So whatever professional opportunities you're seeking or you're aware of, looking ahead at your year of service, you're more than welcome to bring in. We would love to see you successful on that path. And that includes working toward a career in sectors like tech or business consulting or anything else. It's one of the reasons why we have so many national employers. And so Comcast being one of them, we're really excited to put these opportunities in the hands of our alumni, because we know that they've built several different skills over the course of their service experience. And as an aside, approximately 50% of City Year staff are City Year alums as of 2019. I am now part of that canon as somebody who served for 2 years in Columbus, but there are many different ways that you can leverage your year of service to be successful in your career. And generally, the application process is pretty straightforward. If you visit our website, cityyear.org, you can find an Apply Now link in the top right. It's on every single web page, and it offers you a few very specific prompts. Once you are directed to the application homepage, you'll have to create an account, create a login as a first step, and then as a second step, start a new application. It takes most people between 30 and 45 minutes. I'd recommend having a resume ready, and we ask for one professional reference. you provide their contact info, we'll send them a survey, and they complete that in order to finalize your application. Definitely connect with me or another recruiter in that process as well. We're always excited to provide that helpful information that can help take a good application and make it really strong. And essentially, if you're interested in our program, we want you to be successful in the application process. We have over 20 locations, exactly 29 in fact, and so Detroit being one of them is just a great place to consider service. But if there's another site that happens to be closer to where you're from or closer to your network of support, consider the service in that location. Consider giving a year in that place, because that might be where service is more sustainable. And this is something also that recruiters are happy to coach you on as well. And so we can skip through that. We're currently in a rolling admissions decision, which just means the sooner you apply, the sooner you'll be considered for an interview. After the interview process, we'll make sure that you've already submitted your professional reference, because we can't make a final offer without that. And then we ask that you continually check your email if you decide to apply, so that you're getting all of the updates consistently from our admissions team. And then I'll add my contact info to the chat as our Comcast leads take it away.
Thank you so much, Andrew. That was fantastic. The amount of information in that was just incredible. Even a lot of stuff, even when I looked at it, I didn't even know you had that much stuff. So that was fantastic. So again, my name is Chris Salvashire. I'm going to be representing the talent acquisition portion of what we do here at Comcast. And so I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Eventually, I can pull up. I apologize. I'm trying to, my screen is decided that it doesn't want to assist me here. I apologize for the delay. I'm trying to open this up here so I can open up the PowerPoint presentation for everybody. Okay, thank God. Okay, this is not letting me work. I got it. Pull this up here quick. Share screen.
Do you want me to try and share it and I can drive for you?
I think I just figured it out.
Yep, I'm seeing the presentation up on the screen.
Okay, so we're good to go. All right, say I work for a technology company, and I definitely figured it out eventually. So again, Connected is something that Lisa is going to get into later on for us. That is our central division. That is kind of what we live by, which is lead, grow, deliver together. This is a very family-oriented atmosphere here within the central division, but throughout the company, for sure. We all work together to accomplish the same goals. Again, my name is Chris Salvashire. I'm a senior recruiter here for Comcast Business, but I actually do a lot of recruitment for a lot of different roles throughout our entire area. I have been here now 3 years, not like the 18 for Lisa, but these have been 3 of the best years that I have had in my career. I've been doing recruitment now for almost 8 years. This is my life's work. There's no better place to do that than here, especially when you work in a culture that I get to work in every single day. Just so we have an understanding of the Heartland region, when I talk about it, it encompasses the following areas: Indiana, Michigan, and Kentucky, which is greater Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, the Bloomington area as well. Michigan, we cover the greater Detroit area, which is great for this. Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and Flint. And then we also have Elizabethtown in Kentucky that we also cover as well. Just so when I talk about the Heartland region, you have a good idea of what I'm talking about, of what we compass, which is vast, over 3 states. So when it comes to what I do for a living, when I come to talent acquisition, it's not just always about a resume. It's not always, this is a very person business. So what we're looking for, in potential Comcasters becoming a part of the family here, personality is one of the biggest things. We're looking for people that want to grow, not just people that want a job. We have some of the best minds in the business that work here through our business partners, our HR, that are constantly figuring out ways to make everyone that comes in here to grow. The opportunities that we have here within Comcast are extremely vast. One great example that I like to promote is our vice president of Comcast business for the Heartland area actually started out as what we call as a business account executive 1, which was an entry-level position. And that was about 15 years ago. And he has worked his way up to be the vice president of Comcast business for all of Heartland. So it's just a fantastic way to show how much we grow here, not just a job where you can just come in and then you kind of find your way around. But through Comcast, you can actually build a career. We have so many different things that Lisa's going to get through about what we offer of how to grow your career, your education, those types of things that we can really do here. So when people say, why Comcast? Like, why do you work here? I work here for the culture because, again, it offered me the best career growth plans in the entire industry. There's no better place to work at to have that career opportunity here. Some of the positions that we do recruit for in the Heartland area, Xfinity retail sales positions, which include like retail store managers, assistant managers, retail sales consultants, which obviously is the sales piece. And then we also have our store service associates, which are the ones that help out when you walk in, billing and those types of things as well. We have Comcast Business, which is our fastest growing vertical within the entire company, where we have business account executives. Then you can get into a senior business account executive position, and all the way up to our national and our, which is our enterprise, where you're dealing with national accounts like Coca-Cola, NASCAR, those types of things, which is pretty fantastic. And then we have the non-facing, which would be our inbound call center. We also offer telesales as well. And then we have our indirect side, account managers and indirect sales. Those are our third-party companies, like when you go to a Best Buy and you see somebody that's going to be wearing an Xfinity shirt, or a polo, something like that. They actually work for the company. They actually work directly for us, but through a third party. I did put the website in here, jobs.comcast.com. If you're going to look at the so many different opportunities that we have here, and feel free whenever, for those that are going to be viewing this maybe later, reach out to me. You can reach out to Lisa, if you have questions about, hey, this is what I'm really interested in. I like sales, but this is what I'm really looking forward to later in my career. This is where I want to get to. Reach out to us. You can email us. You can connect to us through LinkedIn. We're about people's growth, not just about filling jobs. We're about people's careers, which is really, again, a great culture aspect for us to have. And with all of that, all the great stuff of the positions that we work, I get to throw it over to Lisa Grainer, who's going to tell you the reason why she's been here 18 years and the reason why people refuse to leave here. So Lisa, I'll drive for you. You just tell me when to click and I will do that for you.
Yes. So thank you for the great introduction. And yes, 18 years at Comcast, and it has been a nice ride, I'm going to say. I started as HR in the call center, as an administrator, and grew my career to senior manager. So many opportunities, as Chris said. He's just talking about, Heartland in general, but Comcast is in 48 states and now throughout the world. And so we really have grown. Go ahead, go to the next slide. So speaking of that growing, right, Chris already hit on what our Heartland is all about, but we have 2,900 employees just in Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, with 1.7 million subscribers. So that's just, our region. We have a division, and actually we have 3 divisions within Comcast, and our division is Central Division, which Chris and I both work under, and they have almost 21,500 employees just in our division. And then in Comcast, we have 189,000 employees. That's worldwide. So definitely tons of opportunity. You hear 189,000 people, that means that many jobs. And so and they continue to grow. Comcast continues to purchase and combine companies, and so we continue to grow. That's our fearless leader, Tim Collins, and he's been here just as long as I have, if not longer, and he has worked his way up through the company as well. Next slide, please. So this is all the recognition Comcast has received. Oh, will you go back? Thanks. So we have been recognized for the best workplaces for parents. We are #2 in 2021. Number 10 for Diversity Inc. in the companies for diversity in the top 50. We've number 11 in Fortune for best workplace for women. Number 25 best adoption family for 2021. And then we're also recognized for top military friendly organization. There's several other awards and recognitions we have received, but Comcast is all about making a difference, whether it's for their employees, their community, their customers, just by the products we offer. We just, Comcast within the last 3 years put a couple programs together, one called the RISE program, which basically is a grant for business owners that are diverse, people of color, women. And so in July, Comcast is actually giving $10,000 to 100 businesses. So they're really investing in our communities, helping those of in the diverse categories to help them be successful. Then we have another program called LIFT, and that's all about giving to the communities with internet, helping them. We found out during COVID that a lot of people didn't have internet in their homes, and which definitely puts them at a disadvantage. So Comcast is definitely reaching out and with the community and helping make a difference. And then just internally, Comcast has created a DE&I organization just to make sure our employees are aware, making sure that everyone has an opportunity, making sure that we're all trained and have all the tools and resources, no matter where you come from, what you how you were brought up, all of that. So lots of cool things that Comcast is doing, and definitely has made a big impact on all of us at Comcast. Next slide, please. So connected culture, Chris kind of talked about this earlier. We're all about lead by example, grow daily, meaning, take some trainings, open your mind to new things, deliver on your goals, whether it's to the employees, customers, or community, and then, doing it together, being unified and all having the same message, and all doing it together. Next slide. And here's some of our values and behaviors. And for many of us, we're probably going, yeah, we all do this every day. But, when you put it in writing, it's like, yes, let's hold ourselves to that. So, putting people first, taking pride in your work, being customer focused, making sure everyone feels empowered to do the best job they can be. Be transparent, so what's happening, whether it's the company, your job, being ethical, and then obviously grow. All about growing. That's the only way that we are successful, as we continue to learn and develop ourselves. Next screen. Comcast also all about recognition. We have the thanks program that's for all employees. So if you had someone help you with some task that you didn't know how to do, you could send them thanks points. Each employee gets 1,500 a quarter. And so all of this adds up, and then you can go shopping on their little platform with all the things that you can purchase with your thanks points. And then we have exchange, which is fairly new, and we use this as incentive or leaders use exchange to, promote individuals with, doing a great job, or maybe they won some kind of contest, or even, maybe put together their resume and submitted it, because, a lot of people are not doing those types of things. So we kind of incent people to, be more engaged, and then of course, recognized for their engagement. Next slide. So total rewards. I know City Year told about all their benefits. These are just a portion of Comcast benefits. We give medical, dental, vision. We have long-term disability in case, something happens to you. We have virtual doctor visits, so you don't have to go wait in a waiting room. You can just call up and they will see you. We have health assistance that if you don't understand your medical bill or you can't find a doctor, they help do all that stuff. So we even have a second opinion service where, let's say you go to a doctor and you hurt your knee and you're like, yeah, I don't think I need that, but I'm going to get a second opinion to make sure that's exactly what should happen. So that's all about the health. Then we got the retirement piece. I know a lot of us are like, retirement, that's a long ways away. For me, it's not that far away. So 401k, they match up to 6%. So if you put 6% of your income in, they will match that 6%. We have employee stock purchase where it's discounted. And then we have financial counselors that will actually help you figure out how you should invest your money. We have the wellness programs to help reduce stress, manage your weight, how to get a good night's sleep, how to stop smoking. We have maternity and parental resources. One thing I didn't mention is we actually have paternity leave. So whether you're a woman or a man, everyone gets to take that parental leave. We have wellness reimbursement, going and exercising and getting reimbursed for that. We have employee assistance program if you need to talk to someone, whether it's financial, legal, or just personal. And then we have the whole My Life. We offer discounted pet insurance. People are like, you offer pet insurance? We're like, pet's a man's best friend or a woman's best friend, whomever. But yes, got pet insurance. We have a discounted program for like, let's just say you want to go on a trip. You can go on this discount program and look to see what trips and what kind of discounts you can get. We have adoption. I'm talking too fast. Adoption assistance, where they pay up to $10,000 to help adopt. We have educational assistance, where we Comcast gives $5,750 a year to go back and get a degree, whether it's associates, bachelor's, or master's. So all these benefits are awesome. I will say the best benefit of all is our courtesy services, where $1,500 a year it's worth, and you get every single channel. Not that I watch hardly any of them, but you get, I don't know, so many different channels. You get internet and Comcast phone as well at a discounted rate. Pretty much it's free. You're just paying for your boxes. So I think that's the best benefit of all. And then when we have people join us, new employees to our company, they're like, you get all this time off. We get 8 company holidays, 8 personal days, 3 floating holidays, and 10 days of vacation. So 29 days off in a year. And that's for the first 4 years. And then at the 5th year, you get additional 5 days for vacation. So great benefits. Everyone loves them. And that's what has kept me here. Okay, next screen. Employee resource groups. These are voluntary organizations that are used for common interests. You can get visibility, professional development, all about inclusion. So we have 9 of them, and you don't have to be to belong, meaning to join the Black Employees Network, you don't have to be Black to join. Young Professionals Network, you don't have to be young. I'm a part of all of these, and it's all about, you know, getting exposure, understanding, learning more about individuals, and then networking. Go ahead, go to the next slide. And then again, the employee resource groups are all about what I had mentioned: networking, building your leadership skills, getting a mentor, deepening your understanding of the business. So all of these are very helpful for our employees, and everyone can join them. And it's all about learning and growing, like we talked about our connected culture. Next slide. My last slide is You Learn. So Comcast has a department that does all about training, and they want to ensure that everyone has every tool and resource at their fingertips. They can do it at any time, anywhere, and it's all about growing and developing. So at Comcast, sky's the limit. It's just all up to, you know, you and putting effort in and, you know, raising your hand. And any questions? So I know you can welcome to put them in the chat, reach out to Chris or I. We're here to answer any of those. But again, sky's the limit at Comcast. Thank you for your time.
Thank you both for that awesome presentation. I certainly learned a lot, and I think that, to your point, this is a great time to open up the floor for questions. So you're welcome to unmute, you're welcome to drop something in the chat, and we as panelists can definitely weigh in. Ooh, so right off the bat, for Chris and Lisa, what is your favorite part about working at Comcast? Presentation inclusive, presentation aside, what really stands out to you?
Well, I know Lisa talked about her favorite parts, and thank you, Lisa. I told her before this call that I'm going to steal a lot of that information from when I'm talking to candidates. It was very in depth. My favorite part of what I get to do every day is the team I get to work with. That's really, truly, I've been doing this a long time, but when you get to work with professionals, that everyone has the same goals. It's not just about the job. This is a very personal feeling. For my leadership, since I've been here, I've had multiple leaders, and yes, they care about the job to make sure I'm doing it, but it's also they care about me as a person. You know, if I'm having struggles or whatever the case may be, they're there for that, and they're always there for that. They offer that all the way up through the leadership. I have I can even reach out to our vice president of talent acquisition, so I can make fun of the Yankees, which I can't do right now because they're really good. But I have that ability, and it's just, and he comes back at me. It's in a lot of companies, I hear a lot of jokes about companies that say it's a family culture, and everyone's like, oh yeah, well, yeah, it's a family culture, but I need a paycheck. But you really feel that here. Everyone here, they all have the same goals. They all have the same mindset. That's my favorite part about being here, is the leadership I get to work with every single day, and the business partners that I get to work with. The culture here, I really can say, is second to nobody. There's never been a culture that I've worked in that's this good, this in depth, all the way from leadership down. Nobody thinks of themselves as, I'm a leader, therefore you have to do this. We're all in the same boat. We're all trying to row the same way. Let's all do this together. That's really how it feels. And that's the best part. Everyone's trying to row the same way. So for me, that's my favorite. And the courtesy services that Lisa talked about, because I get the NFL Red Zone channel for free, and I'm a 49ers fan, so I get to watch my 49ers all the time.
Yes, I totally agree with everything you said about, sky's the limit. Everyone is like a big family here. I have this motto: I don't have to come to work, I get to come to work, because every day is, fun, and it's never the same stuff. It's different. And the only reason I make fun of the courtesy, that's the best one, is because 16 years at Comcast, I didn't have courtesy services. And so I had to move, and I finally got it. So now I know why it's an awesome, awesome benefit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Next great question. Do you need to start in an entry-level position to grow?
No, you don't. It really depends upon your level of experience that you have, that you've gathered outside. If you've had certain positions, certain sales positions, you can, if you want to come in, maybe as an assistant, if you've been an assistant somewhere else, you've done outside sales and, for a lot of different companies. So it doesn't mean that you have to come in as entry level sometimes. When this is the beginning of your career and you really get the ball rolling and see what you want to do. Sometimes it's helpful, but no, absolutely not. We bring in everybody. We brought in people that are already to national accounts, like as their first job here at Comcast. So it's just a matter of your expertise of what you're bringing to the table, because we always look for the person that's going to raise the bar for everybody involved. We want to bring in the next best thing. So that's really what we're looking for. So it doesn't matter if it's entry level or working our national accounts. It's just the level of expertise that you're bringing to the team.
Oh, great question. What qualities and attributes make for a successful employee in the company?
I know Lisa will have probably a lot from an HR perspective. I'll give you my quick TA for my talent acquisition brain. What makes somebody successful here is a couple of things. What I look for is personality is number one. That's because at least for what we do, a lot of the things that we do is sales driven, customer facing. We want people that want to talk to people. We want people that like people. I mean, that's really one of the biggest things. But really joining a culture here, wanting to be a part of something that has so many different opportunities, that has so many different values. To be successful here is really a personality and a drive. That's really what I look for. It's not really competency sometimes. I'm just looking for somebody that wants to have a career, is hungry. Those are the things that I think make somebody truly successful here, is wanting to work with others and having that personality. That's my take. I'm sure HR will absolutely have a take on that.
Yeah, no, that is exactly it. And it's all about effort. You got to come every day and put your best foot forward, build your brand. And the next thing you know, sky's the limit. I mean, I know we're talking about Michigan right now, and but we've had people get into the company, and next thing you know, they're moving to California or moving to Florida, and it's all because of their effort, and they continue to want to learn and develop.
Thank you both for that insight. I guess a good segue would be to ask what or how would being a City or AmeriCorps member help with a career in Comcast? What stands out to you from our program that might translate into careers working with you?
I think a lot, because a lot of the things we've talked about, I think Lisa would agree, a lot of the things we've talked about being part of a culture, being part of a team. I saw a lot of that in the, especially that one picture where the student was walking in and they're lined up with people. That's everyone wanting to do it. You don't have to do City Year. It's just something that you want to do. So I think a lot of those qualities of being somebody that works for City Year would absolutely be a fantastic would translate fantastically over. Because that's what we want, is people that want to talk to people, want to be a part of something. And so for me, when I would now moving forward, when I see City Year, that's going to be pretty fantastic, because I'm going to know what they stand for.
And I guess weighing in, I have to agree with you 100%. A lot of the stuff that you and Lisa both shared shows up as like enhancements of the skills that we're developing in service. As an AmeriCorps member, I remember growing most in my ability to communicate and my ability to collaborate with others in a variety of different settings. So just seeing that reflected in your values professionally is really, really exciting and encouraging. Of course, last but not least, any tips for applying coming out of, say, year of service or looking at your programs?
Absolutely. And this is something that comes from something, because I look at resumes all the time and people want to have the perfect resume. I hear that all the time. I know my resume is not very good. I know my resume is not very good. Resumes tell part of the story, not the whole story. And I will actually tell you from a personal experience, 8 years ago, I was nervous. I was putting together my resume and I did not notice that I did a spell check, but because the word was a real word. When I was doing that, I put coconut instead of country on my resume. And so, but the person that was interviewing me saw the fact that I was coachable, saw the fact that I was driven and all those things, and still took a chance on me as well. But when it comes
He's telling the truth, by the way.
Well, I didn't want to call you out, John, but John.
That really did happen.
John Lowe was the one who actually was the one who was interviewing me 8 years ago with a different company. So it's not always about the resume. So when it comes to tips for applying, is really be proactive. Don't just drop an application and then move forward. Try to reach out through LinkedIn, those types of things. But really, it's about keywords, because when we're doing resumes, try to, I don't want to say spruce it up, but make it look like somebody who wants, for it to be noticed. But, make sure all the details are there. If you took time off to make, maybe you went back to school for a year, put that in there. Say, hey, from 2011 to 2013, I took 2 years out of work because I went to school. So it lets us know that you didn't just take time off, that you did something with it. But be thorough when it comes to that. And then when you're having a conversation with a recruiter, one of the biggest pieces is just have energy with us. Just have excitement. Not every job is going to be the job of your dreams, but getting in here, you may be able to get to the job of your dreams like I did. So you may start out in a job doing retail and end up, you could be a vice president in 15 years. I was like, that's really how it is.
And I'll just add, sorry. I'll just add, do your homework on the company. I mean, we kind of gave you a lot of insight on Comcast today, but do your homework on the company so you become knowledgeable and you can talk about things that are happening with the company. That way you can, talk about it, say, and expressing, what you've done already that you're excited about the company. Because that is huge. And then, of course, if you know someone, use them. Not use them, but make sure
Referrals.
you use their help, because that's how a lot of times you get into companies as well. So you have Chris and my name now. So reach out to us. We're both on LinkedIn. We're here for you.
Absolutely.
Great insight. Really appreciate that information being shared. And another important question came in about the continuing ed assistance. Say you wanted a career at Comcast, but you also wanted to go back to school simultaneously. Is that possible? Or can you elaborate a little bit more on what you had shared previously, Lisa?
Yes, definitely possible. We have some individuals that have come to Comcast that didn't have an education. They went back to school. It might have taken them, additional couple years because they only went part-time. But yes, sky's the limit. Any additional education. We have had individuals, get their master's degree, and some even went into nursing, even though Comcast doesn't have that position at our organization. They support all different career opportunities.
All right, thank you for that clarification. Are there any final questions folks would like to share?
I'll chime in here with something. This is John Loam. I'm Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition for Central Division. I heard earlier in the presentation, Chris talking about Jeff Marston, who's our Vice President of Heartland, and serves as a great example of someone who started here as a business account executive and moved his way up to VP. I think a lot of times people hear scenarios like that and they assume that they're anomalies or one-offs, right? And I think it's important to understand that that is kind of commonplace here at Comcast. In fact, there are 4 regions in Central Division. 3 of the VPs out of the 4 started as reps here at the company, 3 of them. A variety of our senior directors, senior managers, I would say about 80% have all been internally promoted. So it's not a one-off here. It's not something where you necessarily have to put in a decade. It is commonplace. Every month we are promoting internals into leadership. So getting in and learning the culture, learning the skill sets, and honing your own craft here at Comcast, this is for many people really not just another job or another blip on your resume. It is a big part, a main part of your career.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Any other final thoughts or curiosities or wonderings about City Year, about Comcast, or the mixture thereof? All right. Well, thank you all for your time. Thank you for joining and asking great questions. I hope that you'll consider a year of service with City Year, and definitely consider working with one of the many employers of national service. We're really privileged that Comcast is so invested in our work, both in Detroit and elsewhere in the network. And just thank you all for joining us today.